April 4th here in southern Ontario, Canada. So I was watching a lengthy clip of the Rebel News the other day. David Menzies and Ezra Levant. They were talking about Bill C-11, where Trudeau, the regime of takes control of social media, what we can say, see, etc. And Bill C-18, which is aimed at destroying independent media totally in this country. And I thought it was really interesting. Ezra brought up on the screen there are over 150,000 printed publications that receive government subsidies from the regime here in Canada. A couple that stuck in my mind were antique fire trucks, because I have a few copies here a buddy gave me. I'll come back to that. Costco, which is a bulk food shopping warehouse. CAA, Canadian Automobile Association. And the list goes on and on. The list Ezra had, you know, the amounts that each publication received, and he and David Menzies laughed about a couple of obscure publications that the title doesn't even tell you what it's all about. So, hypothetically, fictionally, if I published 4 times a year a little magazine, peonies only, just peony flowers, not flowering perennials, I might have 4,000 subscribers, and they'd give me, sorry about that, they'd give me, the figures on this list go from 10,000 to 30,000, 60, 70, 80, 100, 250,000. Be really curious to see what that entire list adds up to money-wise. I'm going to see if I can track some of this down, because it really intrigues me. But let's say I have my P&Es only 4 times a year with 4,000 subscribers, and they give me 35 grand. Well, that's gross, not net. I have to publish the little rag and distribute it somehow, but still, I might want to keep my vote and that chunk of change, mightn't I? 150,000. As an example, my local paper that comes free in the mailbox, I used to love it. It's very rurally orientated. I've made videos about this before. A couple of years ago, it got a new editor, and it went, and then this is my right, it went. They're on the government dole. I take it right from my mailbox to my firebox now. I don't even, just disgust me. So let's look at something like the CAA, Canadian Automobile Association. What do they take government money for? I'd be really curious to see what the contract reads. This is kind of what I'm thinking I'm going to see if I can track down. Because let's say I was the publisher, whatever, the editor of antique fire trucks. Does my contract read that if I take the 150 grand, I'm pulling that out of the air, I have no idea how much antique fire trucks gets, am I not allowed to say something to the effect of, well, once a year I fill the old antique fire truck up and I take it in the fall fair parade, and boy, it sure cost me a lot more this year because of the carbon tax on my fuel to fill up my antique fire truck. Nope, can't say that. What does that contract read? And what is the dollar amount for 150,000 publications? I mean, we can assume that P&Es only and antique fire trucks don't get big bucks. We know the Toronto Star does. Whoa, yeah, they're big time. It's a lot of votes. It really is. And this doesn't include everybody who works at the CBC isn't going to vote for Pierre Poilievre because he said he's going to defund them. Heck of a way to buy votes. And all on our tax dollar. Well, I'll see if I can find anything out about this and bring it to you if I can. I'd really like to get a hold of the contract and the total dollar figure on all of that. But, well, this e-banking versus digital banking has kept me busy to date, so see what I can come up with.